I want to continue our conversation now with MTA Acting Chief Janno Lieber, and we're going to tackle a big topic right now for New Yorkers and those across the Hudson in New Jersey, and that is the issue of congestion pricing, right? The MTA, a big supporter of the idea to charge drivers who head south of 60th Street. Let me just show you this graphic, okay? The graphic shows the roadways that could see a charge for drivers, pretty much outlining lower Manhattan, the lower half of Manhattan. And so for those who don't know, Mr. Lieber, what are the benefits to congestion pricing?
Well, it's a good question. The number one benefit is we've got to deal with congestion. We cannot have a situation where buses can't move, where people in paratransit vehicles who are disabled can't get around, where emergency vehicles can't get around. Congestion is really dangerous for the city. Also, the air quality implications, the climate change implications, that's not. New York is really a climate positive city. So because we're dense and we use mass transit. So those are big. The other major benefit that the legislature cited in enacting this was that we got to raise money for mass transit, and charging drivers who are having significant impacts on the community is part of that strategy. $15 billion for the MTA capital program.
Right. So here's the argument then, right? Is it fair to use funds from drivers to pay for trains and buses?
Absolutely. We're a one region, one system. We need 90+% of people who come to Manhattan to work use mass transit, and their ability to get around is being impacted by congestion. And the air quality impacts of driving when everybody else is using mass transit, that's not a level playing field. But the important thing is we're doing it in a way that is consistent with the way it's been done in London and other parts of the world very successfully, which is that you set up a simple, it's not going to be toll booths, it's going to be cameras, it's going to be easy to navigate. If you are just passing through Central Business District, Manhattan, you can use the FDR Drive or the West Side Highway to get through and not pay the congestion pricing toll.
So for those who live in New Jersey, or even those who live in the outer boroughs who say, hey, I live in a transportation desert, I can't take a train to get where I need to go, they say it's unfair.
Yeah, well, the reality is that, the Lower Manhattan Business District, the Midtown Business District, we're well in excess of 90% of the folks are using mass transit. So we need to make sure that we're supporting mass transit and we're making it possible for people to get around, as I said, on buses and paratransit vehicles. That's the reason for congestion pricing.
I recently sat down with Democratic nominee for Mayor Eric Adams, who said he supports congestion pricing, but he did say that there needs to be exemptions for people who would be heading to Lower Manhattan. He gave an example of a low-income resident who may need to go to a doctor's office and their only option is to drive. Are you looking at exemptions for people who would be able to bypass the system?
It's a very good point. Actually, the original legislation provides a discount for people who are low income, who earn less than $60,000 a year. There are a couple other categories, emergency vehicles and so on. So yes, discounts and exemptions are on the table. It will be decided by a body that's still being formed called the Traffic Mobility Review Board. It's going to be appointed by the MTA board, by the Tri-Borough Bridge and Tunnel Authority board, and then they get to decide or recommend exemptions based on all the data that we're collecting through this massive outreach effort that's underway now.
Only have 30 seconds left here, but when would this actually take effect?
Well, it would probably be in late 23, assuming the schedule that's being executed for the outreach and the environmental review process.
All right. Hey, Mr. Lieber, it was great to have you here in your first appearance. You are welcome back anytime.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
Fun fact about you. You're a Mets, Yankees fan. What are you?
I'm mostly Yankees, although if the Mets are doing well, I'm a Mets fan absolutely as well.
There you go. All right. I mean, the Yankees, they tried. Good to see you here. Thanks for being here.